When we were user testing FitNinja with cancer survivors, we really had three goals. The first was to make sure that from the earliest version of the prototype, we were listening to what cancer survivors were telling us they needed or wanted out of a system like this, so that we could make sure that the survivor voice was woven in to the architecture of the system from the ground up. We also wanted to make sure that we were on the right track with what had been built already. So Vignet had built a working prototype of FitNinja, and I think user testing is often done to make sure that you can identify red flags or catch glitches or things that really violate user expectations or don't address what their stated needs are early at a time when it's really inexpensive to make an adjustment to the system. And the third thing that we were looking to do was to just really hear from survivors generally about the way that they thought a system like FitNinja would be of use to them in the post-treatment period. And so the project that we're working on at UPMC is focused on post-treatment cancer survivors and using FitNinja in that context with post-treatment breast cancer survivors. And we wanted to hear from survivors about whether they thought the system would be of use to them in terms of filling the gap that can open up between the presence of cancer in a survivor's life when treatment ends and the presence of the medical system. So these survivors, have been heavily medically involved, usually for at least a year or longer. And then when treatment ends, there are still continuing side effects and late effects and just ways that folks are coping with physical, emotional, or practical concerns of cancer, but not necessarily anywhere near as much medical support that they have during treatment. And so we want to hear from survivors about how a system like FitNinja that would help them track their symptoms, that would help them track progress towards behavioral goals, that could potentially help them connect to their healthcare team asynchronously, but in a technology-mediated way. How would a system like that support them? And the conceptual framework or the theoretical framework that we've been using from the beginning is self-determination theory, which is a theory of sort of understanding how people get intrinsically motivated. And we've built the system to try to promote the three core components of self-determination theory: autonomy, or supporting people to feel like they have choice; competency, helping them feel like they can master the things that are important to them; and relatedness, a sense of connectedness to other people. In this case, with FitNinja, primarily a sense of relatedness to the healthcare team, to the healthcare providers that they've spent so much time with in the course of their treatment. And we were incredibly encouraged by the results of the user